Welcome to Choma's Folk Tales. Today's story is Olu and the Old Woman's Bag. Once upon a time, in a village lived two brothers named Ade and Olu. Ade and his brother Olu lived together in the village with their old mother. Ade was very calm and hardworking, but Olu was the opposite of Ade. Olu was very stubborn and troublesome. He looked for trouble at every given opportunity, and that made the people of the village so tired of him. And they wondered if they were both born and brought up by the same mother. One evening, Olu was returning home very late when he met a very young girl named Tosin, who was returning home from the market. Olu stopped Tosin and took all her food items she brought from the market. Tosin pleaded and pleaded with him, saying that she needed the food items to prepare food for her sick grandmother to enable her take her medications. Olu shut her up and asked her to go back to the market and get another food item for her sick grandmother. Tosin pleaded in tears with Olu, but Olu paid no mind to her pleas. He pushed her to the ground and do away with her food items, which she used all the money she had to buy. Their mother sent them to the farm that morning, but Olu, instead of following his brother Ade to the farm, spent the whole day roaming around the village causing nuisance and trouble. Olu was so wicked and heartless, and the people of the village avoided him like an outcast. Many months after, Olu was returning home from his friend's hut when he met an old woman who was weak and tired and could barely walk. Olu walked behind the old woman, laughing at her and telling her that she walked like a tortoise. He saw a small black bag which fell from the old woman unknowingly to her. Olu picked up the bag and diverted his way to the nearest bush to see how much was inside the bag. Meanwhile, his mother and brother were at home waiting for his return. Olu, still in the bush where he ran to hide, quickly opened the bag to see the contents inside, and a strange lightning struck, and before he could notice anything, he turned into a rabbit. He could see himself as human, so he ran back home to meet his brother and mother, whom were waiting for him to come back for them to eat. His brother Ade, on sighting the rabbit, quickly picked up a machete and chased the rabbit to kill it. This was strange to Olu, who could not understand why his brother was chasing him with a machete to kill him. Little did he know that he was a rabbit. He could still see his hands and legs as human, but everyone around him were only seeing rabbits, and they would only chase him with a machete or sticks to kill him. When it was nightfall, Olu tried to enter their hut again and was chased by his brother Ade with a machete, calling out to their mother, shouting, "Rabbits, rabbits, rabbits." Then Olu realized that his brother and mother could no longer recognize him because he has turned into rabbits. Olu was tired and confused, and then he recalled the black bag he stole from the old woman before that night. Could it be that the old woman turned me into a rabbit? Olu asked himself. Immediately, his heart started pounding, filled with fear. His mother and brother came out from the hut, staring into the distance, waiting and wondering where Olu could have gone to. They waited for many hours, but Olu did not return. Olu stood in a bush close to their hut, thinking of what to do. He then decided to set out the next day in search of the old woman, and he slept in the bush that cold night. The next day, he set out in search of the old woman, hiding away from people not to see him and start chasing him with a machete. Olu waited quietly and patiently by the bush side where he saw the old woman last and stole her bag, hoping to see her again, but the old woman never passed as she was nowhere to be found. He got tired and more confused, and he decided to head back home. He was very hungry and could not stand the chance of eating from the waste bin. When he got home, some of the villagers gathered outside their huts. His mother and brother were crying bitterly as they believed something bad might have happened to him. He tried calling out to them, but none could hear him. Olu had never felt helpless and confused in his life and was hopeless on what to do. When night came, he was extremely hungry. No one to give him food, and he had no other option than to eat from the waste bin, close to their hut. He could not believe life humbled him to the extent of eating from the waste bin like a madman. The next day, Olu set out again in search of the old woman. While he was walking, two boys caught sight of him, and they began to chase him with sticks. He ran with all his strength till he was exhausted and caught by the boys alive. They decided to take him home in order to kill him and use it for pepper soup that morning. They got home holding the rabbits. They showed their grandmother the rabbits that they caught. Immediately, their grandmother shouted, telling them not to kill the rabbits. The boys were surprised and they asked why. Then their grandmother revealed to them that the rabbit that they were holding and about to kill was not an ordinary rabbit but a human. The boys were shocked and they quickly dropped down the rabbit on the ground. What happened was that the old woman whom Olu stole her bag and turned him into a rabbit was the same grandmother to the boys and Tosi whom Olu took her food items from many months ago. The old woman told one of the boys to go and call Olu's mother and brother. When Ade and his mother got to the old woman's hut, they saw the rabbit laying tired and helpless on the ground. The old woman narrated all that happened that very day. Immediately, Ade and his mother began to beg the old woman to have mercy on Olu and transformed him back to human. After several pleading, the old woman told them to get her an egg. After some incantations, she broke the egg and immediately the rabbit transformed back to Olu. When Olu opened his eyes, the old woman was the first person he saw. He was shocked and surprised to see her after a long search for her. He looked around and saw his mother and brother in tears and at the same time happy. He also saw Tosi and was surprised to find out that the old woman was Tosi's grandmother. Olu went on his knees and pleaded with Tosi and the old woman for their forgiveness, and they forgave him. His mother and brother were very happy to have him back alive and inhuman. And from that day forward, Olu turned a new leaf. He stopped causing trouble in the village and made peace with all those he had wronged in the past. He began to treat everyone with love and respect. He also stopped stealing and started joining his brother to help their mother with the farm work and other house chores. Lesson from this is that it is good to be kind and respectful to people around you, regardless of their age and status. If you love this story, please support our channel by subscribing, like, share, and comment down below. Thanks for your love, your support, and your encouragement. See you all in our next story. Bye.